Good morning, everybody. It's 10 a.m. again on Thursday morning, which means we're live. Stacy, good morning.
We're live. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. So, we have a pretty awesome show. We're going to talk about, and we have back one of our favorite guests, Bob Gross. And we're going to talk about inspections, man. What's
Yeah.
going on in the wild world of inspections, and we will talk briefly about how heat has an impact on your inspection. Just
Oh,
you know,
okay.
the most recent past, we've got a new variable. So before we jump into that, like we always do, Stacy, I should have put together a little more graphic for you, but I'm going to put this up on the screen.
Okay.
I think if I can share it. Hold on one second.
It's up.
Oh, is it?
It's blocking us. It's not the normal, like we're not on the side. It takes up the whole screen.
Oh, it takes up the whole screen. Cool.
Well, at least
So,
my view. My view's weird today. Just, yeah. So
see, I
everybody
don't.
knows.
Oh,
We
okay.
need Keegan.
Oh,
Keegan
there
in
it
the
is.
background. What does it look like? Type
I
it in
see
the
it.
chat.
Does it look good, Keegan, or does it not look good?
It's
Mortgage rates
blocking.
they inch
My
down.
view's blocking me and you. Let's see what
Okay.
Keegan says. Taking up the whole screen. Yeah, it's blocking us.
Awesome. So I wanted to take up the whole screen because
Okay.
you were right this week. Rates came down.
You can't see me celebrating.
Now we can. We can see you celebrate. Now we can't because mortgage rates went up. So
All right, put it back up. So rates are down.
trending down week over week, which was really interesting because with the Fed's announcement middle of last week, they bumped up for a day and then they've just been constantly coming down since Thursday of last week. So they've recouped all of the shock and awe that the Fed sent through the system last Wednesday. So we're back to right below 3%. So I know I sound like a broken record, and we say this every week. We don't know how long it's going to be, people. So if you want a sub 3% rate, go do it now. Go buy that house. Go refinance your mortgage. Go do it now because you never know what tomorrow will bring. So
Even me, the half glass full of like rates are going down, no matter what everybody says, they're going down. I don't know how long this is going to last. So
yeah,
I'm joining Keith here that this is going to be short lived.
for all of you that have tuned in for the last year, you know I'm like a total optimist. But I think this is the only thing that I'm a pessimist about. So just indulge me, if you will.
Yes.
But changing gears, those optimistic buyers usually get a dose of reality when they call our friend Bob. So we're going to bring Bob in. Bob Gross, how are you doing?
Hi, Keith. How are you?
Welcome, Bob.
Hi, Stacy. Good to see you. Good to see
So
you.
Bob is our go-to for everything inspection oriented, and for all of you buyers or real estate agents out there that are looking for an inspector, need an inspector, by all means, please do give Bob a call. He's amazing. And you've earned that. So I'm glad you appreciate it, but you have earned that 110%.
Okay.
So so Bob, what's new in this wide world of inspections these days?
Thank you for baiting me with that question a few minutes ago, so I had a chance to actually think about my answer on this one.
You're welcome.
So the biggest change for me has been in the last year, two things. The first one is 2 years ago, I couldn't get arrested to do a listing inspection. I mean, literally, like there was no agent that wanted to do a buyer procured listing inspection at all. They just didn't want to do them. I do maybe 2 a month, and that's it. Right now, I do 5 to 6 listing inspections a week. So it's been interesting for me in the last year. I'm not talking to as many buyers of homes. I'm talking to people that are getting their house ready for sale, and I'm doing their inspection. So I'm talking to homeowners and talking about their life transition plan out of the house rather than talking to lots of buyers about their transition into the house. Last week, I did 5 listing inspections and 3 buyers inspections. So it just is really interesting for me. I got used to a business model where I was standing at the end of the driveway talking to somebody in their 30s or 40s about buying a house. You and your husband, you and your wife, you and your significant other are going to buy a house. Here's what you need to know. transitioning into listing inspections and talking to people that own the house has been interesting, to say the least, just because I'm talking to people about the same issues, but I'm also saying to them, you need to talk to your agent about whether you need to fix this before you can sell this house. The second biggest issue, or the second big thing that's kind of come up is I'm doing lots and lots. I talked to you, I think the last time we did this, about this. I'm seeing lots of properties over 3,000 square feet. I never used to do a lot of them, and now I do lots of amazing houses. I mean, the kind of houses where you stand in the kitchen, you're like, okay.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it is like before on those larger homes, people just didn't get inspections? Like, what is that? That's interesting.
It just seems to be that, and this is just a theory, is that the people that I've been working with for years have now got a little bit of money and a little bit of equity, and they can trade into a bigger house. Because there's still the same kinds of people that I'm seeing. The houses are just bigger. Their priorities have changed because of COVID. They need a room for the kids to learn in. I need my office. She needs her office. We need a togetherness room. We need a this and a that. I want to shop. I need a shop, a gym, an ADU, a place to work out. I need 19 things from a property. Yeah. And we've been living in a townhouse in North Seattle, and it's just not working with the 2 dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm seeing too is, and this started in January of this year, really after the last year of COVID, it really started in January. I'm doing lots and lots and lots of rural properties. Again, same reasons, Stacy. There's a shop, there's a gym, there might be a mother-in-law above the shop or the garage. There's room for the kids to run. There's and
they can work from home. They don't need to be near the city center. Yeah.
People are moving to Idaho, I hear.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then we have people that backfill those houses. What Keith and I were talking about before this got started is I'm having lots of conversations with people about the reasons why they're moving, and their reasons are all over the place, and it can be the same house. I'll have people that'll be like, I'm getting out of this area. I can't do this anymore. I'm moving to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And then I go to that almost the exact same house a week later with the buyers, and they're like, I can't believe this house is for sale. And it's kind of the same house. Everybody's moving. I call it the great shift, for lack of a better word, because of COVID.
I agree. So I want to circle back and ask a question.
Sure.
That paradigm of going from a buyer to the seller, I'm like, are these sellers sometimes over disclosing some things about the house? Because when you're going in to do a buyer's inspection, they know nothing about the house. Mm-hmm. But when you start looking and poking and prodding, I'm sure the sellers might come up to you and say, "Hey, Bob, did you look under the carpet there, or did you go behind the entertainment center, or has any of that come up?"
It's always been interesting to me to now see it from the other side. So for 7 years, I went into a house, and the Form 17 was checked with the following check mark: any history of moisture intrusion, check mark no. And I always told buyers, I said, I'm here for the things that are not in the Form 17 that should be. There's stuff they kind of know about that they don't mean to. They're not really liars. They kind of forgot about that time that it flooded in the basement.
They've lived in it so long. They're like, it's not a big deal. Someone else won't bother someone else. Just how it is.
I come out of the crawl space, or I come out of the basement. I'm like, well, there is a history of moisture intrusion in here because there's a water line in the crawl space, and there's a sub pump down there. And I always talk to the agent later, and the agent would say, I called that listing agent. Listing agent asked the buyer, and the buyer just basically said, oh we put in we forgot to tell you, we'll update the Form 17. So now we switch to listing side, and I'm talking to those same people, and I'll be like, is there anything I need to know about this house before I inspect it? Once again, crickets. Well, we kind of did a remodel here, and we've updated the kitchen, and we're just kind of here to see what you'll find. Go in the same crawl space, find the same sub pump, find the same water lines, and I come out and I go, how long ago did you install the sub pump? Yeah, we wondered if you'd find that. You remember the part an hour and a half ago when I was standing in your front step and I asked you if there's anything I need to know? Oh yeah, yeah. Did you know about the rats in the crawl space? Yeah, we did.
We
And I
killed them and
have to
left them in
sit
the
there with
crawl
a
space.
straight face and go, okay. So it's really interesting. It's not that people they just don't remember, or they just don't want to tell me. I don't. It's weird, but the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth never seems to come all the way out until prodded.
So what part of the listing are you coming in at? Are you coming in like the eve before it goes live on the MLS, or are you coming in a couple weeks, a month before? When are you coming in on that inspection?
Very few of them have me there 1 or 2 or 3 weeks out. Generally, I'm there on the Tuesday, and we're going live Thursday or Friday. Gives me a day to do the report, and get it to them so that they can decide if there's anything last minute that they need to do. Some of them are doing them a little bit more ahead of time, but most of them are doing them literally. It's the beginning of the week, and we're going live at the end of the week.
I mean, because they're selling anyways, right? So they probably don't care. They're not fixing anything. They're just gonna disclose it.
Many times they're not. Is my assumption when I see it from the other side, because there's quite a few houses that have some serious issues that now people are just like, well, I got 7 offers.
Yeah.
This one's
What
cash.
about
I need
the
to fix
people
anything?
what about the people who are making an offer? The seller didn't have you in first. You waive the inspection, but they slide in. Have you ever gone in and you do an inspection right before the 3 days is up, and you just do it really quick for that?
Yeah.
How often is that happening?
A lot in January and February, not very much right now.
Okay.
In January and February, when it was super frenzied, I would have mere hours to tell them the 95 things about that property. Wow. You see what happened with the sunglasses?
Yeah,
Wow.
You totally overwhelmed me.
Wow.
Like hours? I was amazed, and I pushed that
So
by me.
I would get this phone call on Sunday night. Offer review is due on Tuesday at 2:00. What do you have? And I'd be like, the only thing I've left is Tuesday morning. So I'd get there at 9 or 10 o'clock, just literally finish the inspection, talk to these people, and the real estate agent would hit send on the offer.
That's a
some
TikTok
of them
video, Bob. We need to produce that into a TikTok video.
I've had agents filling out their forms while I was doing the inspection, and then calling their client and going, so we still got it 7:45? And I would talk about pressure. By the way, Bob, 15 more minutes before we're locked in for life. We can't do any due diligence on this property because, well, there's 19 offers.
We're going to waive the inspection. We're going to release all the earnest money, and it needs a new foundation roof. You guys are good at 7:45? Okay.
Well, and I've had a couple in January and February. I had a couple of houses where the agent felt bad that they couldn't do an inspection, so they had me do an inspection after the fact, after they owned it. And a couple of those houses I went in, and I was like, so foundation has some serious issues.
I shouldn't laugh.
It's not funny, and yet it's funny. Because it's funny after you think about it after the fact. It's like, how do you come out of somebody? Okay, I realize you paid $450 for it, and in any other market, this house would be worth about $110. I realize you paid $440 for it, but and great for you. It needs about $60,000 worth of foundation work. So that'll be $450.
Right.
You're like a counselor, psychologist right now in this market. I mean, it's really, I'm sure you have stories upon stories.
You just have to watch for people's reaction, watch what you say to them and how you say it to them. And I'm having to have more and more of the conversation about, you can live with this for 2 or 5 or 10 years, but then you have to make a decision on this house.
That's what you said to me when you inspected my house on the roof.
Yeah.
You're like, this probably has about 5 years in it.
Yeah.
And we're planning on replacing it next year. So we're doing it in 3.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But it's crazy times.
I don't know whether other markets are like this, but in Seattle, we got a lot of deferred maintenance.
Yeah, a lot of them are. And I'll say this to that. If you're ever in that post-close foundation issue or you find some stuff, send them over to me. We got a great rehab and renovation loan that we can get those guys hooked up with. No problem whatsoever.
Nice. Really?
Yep, absolutely.
For foundation work? Really?
Oh yeah. I'm doing
awesome.
one right now in Beacon Hill.
Nice.
So fun stuff. So tell me this. What are the top 5 uses of duct tape you've seen in the last 3 to 6 months?
Generally, it has to do it always has to do with a leak, Keith. So first of all,
it's plumbing related.
It's plumbing related. However, multiple uses. Okay. So the biggest and best use of duct tape is underneath the kitchen sink when you have a small leak. Small quotes. Where are my quotes? They're there. Quotes. Small leak. When you have a small leak. Underneath the kitchen sink. You can use it under the bathroom sink, but it's not as popular as the kitchen sink. Okay. Number 2 for duct tape is it is made for ducts of the HVAC system, but you can put it really close to the furnace so that the glue will release all over the exit the vent, you know.
The vent, yeah.
and then it can ooze. Then number 3 is sort of plumbing related. When you have plumbing, you have a vent pipe that goes through the roof. If that vent pipe leaks, you just go up there and you duct tape it.
Close.
And this one I know you guys aren't ready for, but I'm telling you right now. Chimney leaks, duct tape, and a good tarp. Yeah. Duct tape and a good tarp. Oh yeah. If your chimney's leaking, you just take get a blue tarp. Cheaper the better. Thinner the better.
What is not to put people in a group, but what are the demographics? Because I've never used duct tape, but I grew up with duct tape. I got in a car wreck. My dad wrapped my car with duct tape, and I drove my car with duct tape.
So Stacy, I'm from the great state of Nebraska.
Okay.
So if you ever need help with anything redneck, you just let me know. I drove an old Camaro with a mullet and smoked Marlboro Lights out of a box when I was in high school. So if you need anything redneck, you just let me know.
Okay.
If you want 101 uses for
red. It's good.
Duct tape, I have all kinds of uses for it. To be less smart alecky about it, most of the time, duct tape is used by someone who owns a house who literally can't afford to live there. So I'll give you a great example. Mom and dad die, and they gave the son that house. Their son never had a history of, I'll call it solid employment. So he's in a house that he can't afford to. There's one across the street, literally.
Gotcha.
The son can't afford to live in that house, but there's no place else he can live for free. And so, he's making duct tape repairs because he can't afford to fix the chimney. That would involve getting a job. But, not that I'm hacking on my neighbors. I'm just saying, he could go get a job any day now. Anywho.
There's a few of them available out there in the market.
And somebody just came up and said, another use for duct tape is around windows. That's another great use for duct tape. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Doors, windows.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, Patty.
Which reminds me of the heat issue we were going to talk about, because everybody covered their windows, right, with cardboard and insulation. And Keith mentioned that impacted inspections. So how did the heat impact it?
Well, for 3 days, the attics went from about 110 degrees on a hot day to 130 to 140 degrees. And for me, there were 3 attics where I simply couldn't go in. I had to photograph everything I could from the hatch because there was a 50-degree temperature difference between the house. This was an unair conditioned house. It was 87 degrees below the attic hatch, and just above the attic hatch was 135. And I was afraid I was going to pass out in that attic. So I took all my pictures from the opening and said, I'm happy to come back for free and look at this attic if you'd like. But I simply couldn't go in. It was. I did 2 inspections on Monday when it was 108 in Tacoma, and both houses didn't have air conditioning I found out you can drink 4 Gatorades in a day. It can happen. Yeah.
The big 32 ouncer?
Yeah, the big ones. I drank
the big ones.
3 of those and another little one, plus probably 8 full bottles of water, and it was just unreal.
So Bob, I did confirm it.
Yes.
145 degrees is the temperature for pork chops.
Yeah.
We were talking about that before the show.
Mm-hmm.
So people's attic spaces were the temperature of a cooked pork chop.
So you could have sous vide a pork tenderloin in your attic on Monday. That ship has now sailed. You're gonna have to use actual appliances down below in the kitchen, the old-fashioned way. But no, it was well, everybody knows it was brutal. I will tell you that my wife and I, when we bought this house, it wouldn't have been a deal breaker for us, but it had a heat pump. I've never been so happy to own a heat pump in my entire life.
Yeah, amen.
I had AC in my house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although AC doesn't exactly keep up at 110, by the way.
No, it doesn't. And I found that in my trailer studio as well. At about 107, the AC unit just kicked off. It's just like, oh, I'm done here. We'll see you later.
Yeah, there's only about so much heat they can do.
I'm sure a lot of houses sold during the heat wave that had AC, right? Like that was something they were looking for.
Yeah. It's becoming more and more prevalent. When I first moved here, the statistic was like 5%. I've now heard 10 and 20% of the houses around here. The heat pump has really helped push the AC numbers up. Also, the last couple of hot summers have pushed the numbers up. According to local HVAC guys, we've gone from like 5 to maybe 10 days of hot weather to 10 to 20 days of hot weather in the last about 10 years. So I think you're going to see it more and more prevalent. And a couple of these heat waves is all it's taken,
Gotcha. So I have a question. You may or may not be privy to this, but how many of the inspections are you doing are actually because there's an inspection contingency still in the purchase and sale? Is it just listings or for information only and pre-inspecting? Or
until 6 weeks ago, nothing was inspection contingent.
Okay.
Nothing was.
Gotcha.
It's kind of started to come back. It's started to come back where we've gotten. You guys would know more about the numbers than I would, but I always see that there are trends in home inspections where I feel like people get exhaustion. They're like, you know what? I'm not paying that for that. I'm just not. And then suddenly the inspection contingency comes back, and one of my agents will say something along like a smart alecky agent that, of course, would be friends with me. About 6 weeks ago said, I got an inspection contingency. I negotiated something on it, and I got it below list price. And I hadn't heard that January, February, and March. Never, ever heard inspection contingency. The only time people got an inspection contingency was when something was listed for 30 or 60 days, which obviously means it was overpriced.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting because prices are still going up, right? It's not like we've leveled off. Like, it's still a crazy market.
But I've also heard from some people in some open houses that they're not getting quite the traffic that they were. Now, the difference between 75 people coming through your first day and 25 people coming through your first day, you and I were talking about this, Keith, perspective.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah.
It used to be that 10 was a great number on your first day at an open house.
That would be huge.
Then when it went to 25, oh my God, this is crazy. And then when it went to 75, we forget that that's not normal. And 25 maybe is. So now suddenly we don't have maybe quite as much of a frenzy on certain houses. 1 or 2 offers, maybe an inspection contingency. One of my friends just did a contingent offer, upon this house selling, and I haven't seen that in months. Again,
I've done 2, but they've both been condos, right? The condo market isn't as hot, but wow.
But I think you're right, Bob. Buyers are getting tired and kind of taking a break. I mean, you put in 10, 15 offers. That's not a fun place to be.
Well, and the summer always brings, for me, I don't know about you guys, but you guys probably see it too. For me, the summer always brings 2 or 3 people that I've gone to 2 or 3 properties with who just drop out for the summer and go do summer.
Yep.
They're like,
They
look,
go do
sun's
summer.
out. I'm going to go to Helena, Montana and buy a boat.
Yep.
And
out,
do
I mean,
those
who would
things.
do that?
I mean,
Who
who
would
would
do
buy
that?
a boat in Helena, Montana? Seriously. I'm going to go buy my boat. I'm going to do my, he's that way. He's that way. My neighbor's this way. He's that way. Anyway, people go and do summer stuff, and then in the fall they show back up again, and then they get a house.
It's funny you say that, Bob, because I just literally told my team this. I said, okay, so we're going to be quiet all of this week. The week right after the 4th of July, we're going to go crazy for that week.
We are.
And then we're going to go quiet until the day after Labor Day. And please get your rest, rehydrate, get some rest and relaxation, because the day after Labor Day, people are going to call us and they're going to be like, I needed to buy a house last month, but I didn't buy a house because I was hiking, I was biking, I was camping, I was boating, I was doing whatever I wanted to do.
And so, it happens every summer, and we forget every summer. We're like, where'd everybody go? It's August. Where'd everybody go? Oh, that's right. They go on vacation in August because the kids go back to school September 1st.
Yep, exactly. So they literally, I think it's about 9:30 the Tuesday after Labor Day. Like, oh, I just dropped my kid off at school. I need to buy a house. Okay, let's get you pre-approved.
It's for me. It's Sunday and Monday of that weekend. There'll be a couple of agents that'll be working, and they'll call me all desperate. Tell me you're not booked this week. I'm like, I'm not. And then in the next 4 hours, I will book the whole week.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Like, I don't know. This market is so different and rates are so low. I don't know if we're going to get that reprieve. I mean, for all of us in this industry, I hope we do, because I don't think most of us have had more than a day off. Like, definitely not 2 days off in a row since at least March of 2020, right? Like, I'm not kidding. Like, nothing, no days off. And so it'd be nice to have a little break, but I don't see it coming. I really don't. Our ad count is huge. Our funding months are not slowing down.
So can I ask you guys a loan question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you seeing refis still or no?
We are, but it's shifted for sure. We have a much higher, we're almost pushing 70% purchase. And we were in the refi, like last year, it was almost opposite, right? We never really fell below our team 50% purchase, but I know a lot of companies fell to like 30%. But we're really purchase focused right now. So
that's awesome.
But the refis are still, as we said, I mean, rates are low. Anyone who didn't take advantage, now's the time. So
yeah, I'm just curious of what's going on with refis. If they're still
crazy. So I'm going to throw this question up for Patty. Patty, we're going to talk about that in our upcoming roundtable with our real estate agents in 2 weeks. But this is a great question. So when is the best time to look and buy? We'll definitely be talking about that in 2 weeks. Bob, final question. And I talk to you about this every single time we have you on the show because it's an important question. And I think it's a very, very timely question. Mm-hmm. Should you get an inspection on new construction? I'm buying new construction.
Absolutely. Every single time. It goes back to a very basic theme. These guys are in a huge hurry. And most of the new construction builders are up against corporate metrics, for lack of a better number. How come you aren't finishing your houses on time? They're under a tremendous amount of pressure to finish these houses because as soon as we finish these houses, we can sell them. Let's see how fast we can get them done. All of that hurrying means that they miss stuff. And I've never seen anything on a new construction house that was missed that they wouldn't fix, but I've found a ton of stuff that they didn't fix. Like I'll give you 5 or 6 great examples of what happens on new construction. Multi-million-dollar house, all of the gutters are up. Gutters and downspouts are up. No brackets to attach them to the house. That's a guy that's in a hurry. No brackets.
They're just free solo. They're just hanging off.
I don't know how he got them to hang, but he forgot most of the bracket. I mean, there might be one bracket in the middle, but you need brackets up top so it doesn't come loose, and down below so it doesn't come loose.
Wow! The second that fills up with water, it's going to come off the house.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. It's a good one.
Many times on a roof, you will find brand new construction roofs. These guys are in such a hurry. The roof will still be littered with nails. There'll be nails everywhere, staples everywhere. I've found a hammer, other things on the roof. A guy was just in a hurry and left stuff up there, and no one's checked on it. I've done new construction where the house is they're gonna do the final walkthrough in 4 days. No vapor barrier in the crawl space at all. I don't know how 15 people went in that crawl space and never said anything about the vapor barrier, but they did. We just never put a vapor barrier in it. And it's all things that relate to me. They all relate to one theme. In new construction, they're in a hurry. They're trying to finish those houses, and they're just missing stuff. That's all they're doing. They're missing stuff. They just missed it.
Yeah, not bad people, just in a hurry.
Just not bad people in a hurry. They're not real happy when someone brings it up who wears a logo that says inspections on it. But that's my job, and that's what I get paid for. And I put it in the report. They turn it over to the superintendent, and the superintendent, fixes all those things. Dishwasher's not hooked up. Refrigerators that don't have the water line hooked up. Refrigerators that aren't there. Supply chain issues. There's all kinds of fun stuff. Yes,
do you ever
should get
throw
it
on a pair of aviator sunglasses and go all Cartman on it and say, respect my authority? No.
I'm already not very popular on a new construction site anyway because I'm a home inspector. I get looked at like, no, guess who's here? If I put on the Cartman outfit, yeah. What a great idea, Keith.
Construction comes with a warranty, so you think they'd want to fix it up front, right?
Yeah.
Like I would think. But.
And they do. They these guys usually fix it. What I really tell myself when I do these new construction inspections is, I'm saving the superintendent 5 to 6 phone calls.
Yeah.
He could say thank you, and some of them do, but most of them don't.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tell Bob thank you, all you people out there.
Tell Bob thank you. Remember to thank your inspector.
Yeah. Thank your inspector. We don't take tips. It's fine. You don't have to tip your bartenders and waitresses. Just tell your home inspector thank you.
Thank you. That's all they're looking for. Just a thank you. Right on. Well, Bob, it's been great. We burned through half an hour already again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. You know I do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to put in the chat, I'll have Keegan do it for us here if she could, throw in your contact information if anybody needs a home inspection here in the greater Seattle area.
One question. Sorry, one question about that. Bob, where will you inspect? Where's your...
Oh, good question.
I used to have a territory, Stacy. I no longer do. I go just about everywhere. I'll go anywhere from Puyallup to, I've been as far north as Birch Bay. I generally refer out Birch Bay, and I refer out anything south of Puyallup. For the right clients, I will go to Gig Harbor, Bainbridge, Bremerton, because I have. If it were Port Angeles, I'd probably refer it out. But literally about anything I-5 corridor from Puyallup to Bellingham, I will do. And I'm doing a lot of stuff in Whatcom. So.
Okay. So it sounds like call you regardless because you'll know someone if it's outside your area.
King, Pierce, Snohomish, Whatcom County, call me and I'll get you a guy if I can't go there.
Okay.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. And Keegan, like magic, put your information in the chat there. So there you go. Give Bob a call. And Bob,
appreciate it.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
Don't bake yourself in any attics in the near future.
And I'll be waiting for that phone call about going out on a boat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We'll do that.
Somebody get a boat?
Yeah, I did.
I don't know.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob.
We'll see you later, man.
Take care.
Well, there you have it. Our man, Bob. So if you have any questions or need anything as far as inspections are concerned, like I said, give Bob a call, and we'll catch you next Thursday at 10 a.m. for Real Estate Now. Stacy, until next week, enjoy.
Till next week. Yep. See ya.